Right, because a lot of people are asking, I'll briefly explain Brutal Slash. So, Brutal Slash is lower energy than Swipe. It does more damage per use than Swipe, especially per energy point. It also does more single target. And I think that's everything. Yeah, so Brutal Slash on all accounts is better than Swipe. Except Swipe has infinite uses, and Brutal Slash only has 3. So if you're in situations where you want to be constantly like swiping, then Brutal Slash is not the best play, because you will run out of charges. However, if you're in situations where you have other buttons to press, so you're not having to only press swipe, then Brutal Slash is the better play. Or if you need extra single target burst, or single target period, anything like that, Brutal Slash is better, right? Does anyone need any additional description beyond that? Or are people happy of like... Yeah. Sebastian, thank you for the 100 bits, dude. Tea time? Hey, go treat yourself. Oh, wait, you got it for me? Yo, I'm still drinking a protein shake. When this is done, I'll grab a tea, okay? But I'm not ready for a tea yet, because I gotta finish this. Alright, Devil. Appreciate that, dude. So, Brittle would be better for a Talons build. Exactly, yes. Because you're alternating the buttons that you're pressing. So instead of doing 3 swipes in a row, or 3 Brutal Slashes in a row, when you play with Blood Talons, you would do something like a Rake, Thrash, Brutal Slash into a finisher, then double Brutal Slash plus another Rake into finisher, and then you would do Rake, Thrash, Brutal Slash into a finisher, and then you'd want to do double Brutal Slash. Of course, you're also going to have things like energy complications, you're going to have Apex procs, so you're going to have other things as well. You're not just going to do that. You're going to want to reapply like Thrash when you have to. You might want to Rake more than once, depending on mob density and stuff like that. So in theory, yes, Brutal Slash I think is better when playing with Blood Talons. But Brutal Slash, also what you have to consider, so there's this weird interaction, or this weird situation where you can be in, where you could look at it in both ways, and you have this kind of, you have this example of a situation that means that you can actually see the benefit of either Brutal Slash or Wild Charge. Wild Slashes, sorry. So, for me, if I was running Lion Strength and it was big AoE, then I would want to run Swipe, because Swipe outcompetes Rake at probably something like 6 or 7 targets. Brutal Slash outcompetes Rake at 5 targets, but Swipe does less damage than Brutal Slash, so it probably outcompetes at 6 or 7, something like that. So if you're constantly doing a lot of heavy AoE, then I think Lion Strength is better, because you're going to get more Apex procs. So that also means that Wild Slash is better, because you're not going to be doing Blood Talons generation, you're not going to be Rake spreading as much, you're going to be swiping until you can get your finishes. You're also going to be Apex biting. But what's also going to happen is, because you're in heavy AoE, you're going to get so many Apex procs that's going to give you time for things like Brutal Slash to recharge. But it depends on how many mobs there are on that recharge time, on whether Brutal Slash would be better there. But then, so that kind of alludes to you wanting to take Brutal Slash, but also not wanting to take Brutal Slash, for various reasons, right? And then you could also be in a situation where you're playing Blood Talons, and you're getting... So you're playing Blood Talons, you have fewer mobs to attack, so you're going through your Blood Talons rotation. So Brutal Slash should be better, because you're playing Blood Talons, and you also have a lower mob density, so the burst of Brutal Slash, like the damage of Brutal Slash per target, is going to be a lot better than swiping. So in theory, Brutal Slash and Blood Talons on low mob density is better than Wild Slashes. However, you're also getting fewer Apex procs, and there are also fewer mobs for you to Rake spread on, which encourages higher Brutal Slash play. And you're going to run out of Brutal Slashes in low mob density, in theory. So you can basically have a situation, you have both situations of low mob density and high mob density, of Blood Talons or Lion Strength, and both times you can have an argument to want to play Brutal Slash or want to play Swipe. And I think it really depends on the feel of the situation where you're in that. Like, if you just get comfortable in that situation, go, I'm running out of Brutal Slash too much, I'm going to play Wild Slashes. Or you might say, you know what, I'm actually not running out of Brutal Slash charges, I'm fine, so I'm going to stay with Brutal Slash. And that's where you as the player need to use your brain. That I can't help you with. Like, I can't go beyond that point. That's where you guys need to, because it's going to come down to your crit, your haste, your apex proc RNG, the mob density, how big your tank is pulling, whether you're playing Tiger Tenacity or not, like all that kind of stuff. And I can't do anything for you on that. That's got to come from you. But do you understand the situation that I just explained? Which I probably should make a YouTube video, by the way. But do you understand why you can see the benefit of both in two different situations? Spam thrash so much with BRS versus Forte mobs. Yep, but as you get more haste, your Brutal Slash will have a lower recharge. So on right now, my recharge is 7 seconds. On beta, it was 5.8. But yeah. Brutal Slash Tyrannical and Swipe Fortified. I literally have just explained it. It's not as simple as that question.